The Leper. Rank 1 and 2, positions 1 and 2 are favorite for the Leper. He is like a mini tank, but more like a bruiser because he deals a lot of damage, especially when he comes with Tempest. He can also come with defensive passive, okay, and that's when he is a taunt tank. But you would like to play him here as a Tempest because the amount of damage that Chop deals is absolutely insane. So how do we play Leper? For Tempest Leper, the most important would be Chop, okay? It doesn't work when you're blinded. Target needs to be with this blue skull so you can actually hit, alright? Or better to say, you need combo to hit. So that means you need to trigger combo with someone else over here. Best characters in the game to mark the target for Leper would be Jester, Runaway, and Occultist, so he can actually hit with Chop. If you don't play with these three, then you need to remove Blind from Leper, which you can do with consumables, with Holy Water, and so on. But you can also remove Blind with Man-at-Arms ability Command, and that's the way how the Leper will hit 100% with Chop. His next ability, Purge, would be once you kill position number 1 and 2 in enemy ranks to clear corpses and drag those squishes towards you so you can kill them. It's very useful, especially if you don't have any heroes that can deal damage to the last line. Withstand is useful for a Tempest Leper, okay, but not as useful as it is for a tanky Leper. When he comes with a tanky passive, then Withstand is even better. There is no playing without this Solemnity skill, okay, when you should heal when you're on a death's door, or immediately heal if you don't have anything smarter to do to remove stress. If no one is available to clear Blind from Leper, Leper can do it on its own, but he will pass an entire turn, remove stress, and remove Blind. Hew, I didn't find it that useful, no matter the passive for Leper, is it Tempest or something else. The reason is very simple, low amount of damage, you want to eliminate enemies as fast as you can, and Chop eliminates them way much faster, especially when it crits or when in combo, than Hew. I tested Hew, and I say go for the Chop. Next ability is Revenge. Revenge can be used only against bosses. During the maps, during your mapping, and during your trip to the boss, I would not recommend using Revenge. So, Revenge, consider taking it like instead of Reflection. If you have someone to clear Blind from Leper, then you can take Revenge. Intimidate. I used Intimidate quite often. Alright, and I usually removed Reflection, or I removed Purge in case of Intimidate, okay, and that's also when I was fighting bosses where I needed to reach the 4th line, alright, because Intimidate can reach everywhere, and as well as give you Taunt, but it's gonna reduce your damage also. So this is a spell that you're gonna use maybe 2 times in the entire map. It's not as useful, for example, as Purge, especially during the first map, but it is useful later on. Ruin is a boss killer. I would not recommend Ruin during maps, okay? Ruin is for the main endgame boss, so you can actually one-shot everything that it throws at you, alright? You can exchange Reflection or Purge for Ruin, or better to say, you can definitely exchange Ruin for Purge because you don't need clear corpses for the boss. Break. It removes armor from enemies, but frankly there are so many champions right now that can remove buffs, okay, and that can trigger armor with some consumables, with fire, with bleeding, with whatever, to remove armor from enemies. So I believe it's a waste to play with Break, especially because I know that it deals very low amount of damage. This is quite useless skill. Now, same what I said for Break, I can easily say for Bash. It's just saying good, okay? If it gives Taunt, for example, then it would be solid, but again, you immobilize enemies. You don't need to immobilize enemies. If you know how to target your primary targets first, if you know who to heal first, enemies, they don't switch positions as often, okay? You can only reach spot number 1 and 2. just ignore bash. So Leper might be also the easiest one to play as long as you trigger combos with chop, as long as you self-sustain with withstand, with solemnity and with reflection, you're good to go. There's nothing here to pay attention to, only blind. Removing blind from Leper with consumables or with some other hero over here, or if you don't remove blind, you just mark enemies for Leper to hit them 100% even when he's blinded. That's everything there is about Leper. Keep him at spot number 1 and 2. He deals insane crits, okay? When he crits, he's really freaking insane. You want to have crit trinkets on him, flat damage trinkets, crit trinkets, stress resist trinkets, okay, and move resist trinkets on a Leper. What is also a very good thing about a Leper, you don't need these upgrades to play him. You receive him like this, and then you unlock all of these skills as you play, as you find those hero shrines, okay? You can see what you unlock here. You actually don't need the skills. A Leper is very valid from the very start of the game. So if you're gonna chase those hero shrines, chase it for others, do not do it for Leper. Leave Leper for the last and chase his upgrades. Absolutely, the last character that you chase upgrades should be Leper, because he's completely valid like this. So how we should play Leper? It's very simple, okay? I said he needs the blue skull on enemies so he can hit when blinded. Okay, this is one way to play Leper. You attach blue skull on someone, and now Leper will kill. Alright. Or you can attach blue skulls over here, like this, and then you can use Hew for both of them. In this case, we're gonna use Chop. You can also remove blind from Leper with command and abilities that basically remove blind, alright, as well as with consumables. This is the way to play Leper. If the enemies are tougher, and you recognize that you can't kill them in one go, alright, or if they have Death's Door, you open up with Withstand, alright. If they're squishy like this at the start, you're gonna open up with Chop. Insane amount of damage on Leper. I scored above 70 damage crit with a Leper. With proper trinkets, of course, which we're gonna pass right now, and what are the best for the Leper, but basically that's it for the Leper. Really, there's nothing else left to say about him. He destroys the first 2 spots. Once he does, he can always remove corpses and drag them to him, and that's about it. The first good trinket that you should consider on the Leper is Reverberating Redoubt. The next solid trinket would be Uncommon Seashell on a Leper. Absolutely amazing trinket on a Leper would be Clarifying Carcanet, but you need to keep relics and bubbles above 75, so you really need to know what you're doing in this game if you want this trinket to work, but it's absolutely the best one on a Leper. A very good trinket for a Leper would be also Nautical Compass. On a turn end, he receives armor, crit, dodge, or damage, or 1 stress that he can easily remove. Guard Bodkin can be good on a Leper because of the extra action, but he needs to bleed. One of his abilities, okay, I believe it was Ruin, when upgraded, he bleeds, alright, immediately auto-bleeds himself. So this can give him an extra action. Now Leper that can play twice during a round is very scary. One of the best trinkets on a Leper is a Celebrated Chalice. It gives speed and it gives crits if relics and bubbles are above 50, which can be done. It's not hard to go above 50 and keep them above 50. And Leper with a high crit is absolutely insane. And maybe the best one on a Leper would be Goading Gargoyle, because it converts his blind to damage, 50% more damage, and there is a 66% chance that it's gonna happen on a turn start. This is the way to hit 100% on every round, and you hit harder than you are hitting when in combo. The best defensive trinket on a Leper would be Grated Gilded Mind, because it gives stress resist and mortality resist. I mean, Death's Door resist. Flat resist trinkets also like Greater Anchoring Charm or Greater Sacrificial Host are also good on a leper. These two also, Greater Hail Drought and Greater Cleansing Sensor, are great on a leper. I find this one among the best on a leper. Flat damage, Greater Sharpness Charm, but basically this trinket is good on everyone. One of the best buff trinkets on a leper is Greater Heartseeker, flat 10% crit chance. When leper crits, he hurts. Now what about low tier trinkets? You want to avoid trinkets that have minus to crit, minus to damage, okay? If there is 10% max HP and you sacrifice 3 crit chance, that's bad, alright? You want trinkets that give crit, flat damage, or stress resist, death's door resist, blight resist, fire resist, bleed resist, burn resist, but pay attention for those trinkets to come without penalties to damage, because you want high crit and high damage on a leper. As far as Respite goes and what items you should use on a leper, you should usually use items that remove negative quirk on a leper, give him crit chance, alright? Give him armor, defense, maybe speed, give flat resist, bleed resist, burn resist, disease resist, and so on. Give him, of course, food, okay, to raise maximum HP during the respite. Give him things like remove stress, basically a leper, any consumable in the end that gives crit, flat damage, raise HP, remove negative quirk are the ones you should apply on a leper. One of the best combat consumables on a leper would be holy water, so you can remove blind. There are also flat bandages that can remove blind. They look similar to regular bandages. Only this one remove bleed, the other ones they remove blind. What we learn first is, of course, chop. After chop you're gonna upgrade withstand. After withstand you're gonna upgrade solemnity and reflection. And for the final part you can exchange purge on a third map for intimidate or for revenge or for ruin. I would advise going for ruin for the final boss. One last thing, of course, you should remove negative quirks in a hospital during your maps. Keep that in mind, they can really ruin your run, and you should have a lot of positive quirks till you reach the final map. If Leper, instead of a Tempest, comes as a tank passive, I forgot the name of that passive, but basically it's a Withstand Leper, then the first thing you should upgrade is Withstand, and you're good to go. How do you play a tanky leper? You go with Withstand, then you intimidate enemies, you keep taunt on leper non-stop, okay? Once they hurt you, you're gonna use Reflection, you're gonna use Purge, and you're gonna use Solemnity, so you can self-heal, self-stress heal, clear corpses that your allies will kill, okay? And you keep enemies on you with a taunt. Solid armor, solid taunt, solid resists. All attack leper, alright? Every enemy. And in the meantime, you self-heal because you're self-sustainable as a leper. That's when you decide to play leper as a tank, when he comes with a tanky passive. This leper with Tempest, I explained how it goes. It goes like this.